It's a tough lot, this life of a grandstand, all spiffed up for your big occasion, and your guests turn their back on you.
Any grandstand seat.
Tonight, that injustice will be rectified.
At the great Minnesota State Fair.
For this sturdy structure, kissed by the cheeks of generations of Minnesotans, is celebrating a birthday.
If this place could talk.
If this place could talk, it would tell you first about the 6 months of rushed construction barely finished for the 1909 fair.
But they did it.
They had to do it. The old wooden grandstand, built in 1885, was in such poor shape by a well-attended event in 1908. Things got scary.
They went out with megaphones or whatever they had in those days and said, "Don't stamp your feet, don't clap, don't holler." They were afraid it would collapse, and it probably would have.
Catherine Kautsky and her daughter Linda are the authors of Minnesota State Fair, an illustrated history.
It's just an amazing history.
History for the grandstand began with horse racing and quickly evolved into horse power. Car races were hugely popular attractions. But why just go round and round, folks eventually reasoned, when the crashes were what they came for.
We have pictures of the cars jumping over elephants. They actually played polo with automobiles, old automobiles, and crashed into each other until the last car running was the winner.
Those sensible grandparents of ours did some awful things to Detroit's handiwork in the name of grandstand entertainment. But it wasn't just cars. These steam locomotives met the same fate. Before a State Fair grandstand crowd, and even some airplanes intentionally flown into flimsily built houses. Nothing seemed too outrageous. A man on fire, a diving horse and rider.
They would build sets that were 600 feet long of villages in France and all over the place. And then they would, at the end of the pageant and the music, they would blow them all up with fireworks.
But the grandstand's aerial stunts ended in 1951 when the Fair Board said, enough.
A lot of people come in and ask about this one.
A young wing walker named Kitty Middleton and her pilot crashed and died that year in front of the grandstand, to the horror of the crowd.
Sad. She was only 17.
In its 100 years, the grandstand itself has evolved. The Depression-era's WPA expanded seating and added a grand ramp to the grandstand, leading to the interior exhibit space, filled in the early years with new cars, and later with wares of all kinds, from fully furnished living rooms to artificial limbs.
Clothing, seeds, it was the Mall of America.
Up top, all-day racing and stunts were giving way to evening concerts with popular entertainers.
Right here they are, 1984. Huey Lewis's shoes. He left them in the dressing room. And so we wrote and asked him if he wanted his shoes, and he said no. So there they are.
The largest crowd for a concert in the history of the State Fair Grandstand, the year 2000. 22,117 fans for Christina Aguilera. It's a record that will never be broken. The bleacher seating, added in the 1930s for racing, was removed during remodeling in 2002, leaving a 13,000-seat venue, just waiting for whatever grandstand grandeur comes along in the next 100 years.
Only 12 days a year, keep your calendar clear.
There will always be a need for a gathering place for people at the State Fair. In 1909 it was horse racing. Today it's concerts. I don't know what it'll be 50 years from now, but I know there'll be a need for people to get together, and then this is the place to do it.
For the great Minnesota State Fair.
For the KARE 11 News Extra, I'm Boyd Huppert.